Hello guys, can you see the little participant place where you can type in stuff and just type in that, yes, I can hear you and I can see you? That would be really great. This is Kim Klaver and my sidekick, SQ, Susie Q, who's here with me. And I just want to be sure that we can see you and that you can see me and that you can hear. Okay, so everybody can hear. So here's what we're going to do here. Whoop, let me start with the first one. Hopefully some of you guys have seen the first couple of videos that I did. This is Kim Klaver. You see me up there in that little right-hand corner up there. Hello, hello, hello. And I think most of you have seen at least, maybe, I'm going to assume maybe you didn't see any of the videos. And if you did, I'll give you a little summary, a little review so we kind of remember where we are. Remember the whole idea with the whole idea with this program is, and with our business, it's one thing. You got to get customers and recruits. That's what you got to do. Paying customers and paying recruits. Without that, you basically just have something that feels good when you go to meetings, but you have no money. And you know, if that's okay with you, you can do that. But if it's not okay, if you really do want income, because you want to either quit your job or you want supplemental income, or you just want to build some, you know, big gangster money empire, this is a wonderful vehicle to do it. I've been in the business for 27 years. I'm a Harvard grad. I like to think I'm not stupid. And I taught at MIT and Stanford, all these places. And it seems to me that of the options that one has, there are many, depending on who you are, your priorities, the kinds of things that you really tend towards doing, you know, yourself. If you're really technical, then you ought to be in Silicon Valley and start up Snapchat or something. But if you're a person who likes people, if you're sort of an evangelical, you know, you like to tell people stuff, you like to help people do stuff, particularly people who will pay you for the help, this model is really quite the cat's meow if you learn how to do it without the hype and without the silliness that really comes with it. And if you do something more than just sell a $7 product, because, you know, if you are selling a product for $7 and you make $1 and you have to do personal calling people and talking to people and doing demos, if that's how you're doing it, I mean, just think, if you were doing the same sale, the same presentation, talk to the same person, have very similar words, which I'm going to show you how to use here, and you earned, you know, you sold a $500 product or a $300 a month product, and you made $50 each time, the time to make that sale is no more and it's no harder. Trust me, I've done it all. It's no harder. Ask any real estate person. When we're commercial, it's really not much different. In fact, it's no different to sell a $100 million building than it is a $1 million building. In fact, the $1 million building is often harder to sell because the people are scrounging to get their last pennies together to pay for it. Often the lower priced your product line is or your service line is, the more difficult the people are to work with. I mean, they're really prickly and crabby. But when you get up there in those higher numbers, people have passed all that stuff. They've left it all. It's a lot easier to make those sales. You'll discover when you do it. The difference is the audience. It's not the words you use. It's not how long you talk. It's not how fancy your website is. It's not how fancy you are. It's not how, whether or not you have a degree or a pedigree or not. It's the audience and whether there's a value match. All right, so the 7 words. We had talked about the 7 words. What are those 7 words? Because I mentioned to you that we can show you what those are so you can get started right away. Now here's something else. We recommend that you do not talk about the product when you talk to somebody on the phone about your business or talk to them at all. Why? Well, because that's not what really people are buying. Okay, the next thing is for every person that you talk to, you're going to discover that people are really, really busy. And the question that I asked on the video was, well, if they're all so busy, how are you going to get their attention? Short of screaming at them. And of course, you know, if you do that, that doesn't really work very well because then they can just hang up on you. Okay. So the question is, you know, how do you get people to listen to you? And this is Kim Klaver, and I have my assistant, Susie Q here, who has been helping us in major and minor programs and is a wonderful, encouraging person who will be part of the program that I'm going to be talking to you at the end of this, which reminds me, I'm going to give you a little freebie here so you learn some stuff, and no matter what, you come here and you're better off than you were before. That's really the idea here. So that's what I want to have happen. And then for those of you who really want to learn how to do this, I mean major, big time, and you want to transform yourself into somebody different so that you really can become somebody that you really have always dreamed that you want to be, because, you know, you can do it. You just have to do the work. You know, go from skinny to muscle like Arnold Schwarzenegger did. It's a process, but it can certainly be done. Then I have a program I'm going to show you at the end that you can join, maybe. So that's what's in store for you. All right. In the first video, you may remember that we asked, what is the best way to influence people? Okay. How do you do that? Number one, you have to get their attention. This is probably the most overlooked part of what we have in our industry that I know of. Everybody just assumes that the whole world is going to pay attention to you when you have got yourself all ready to make 100 calls. That every one of these people is like waiting and listening, waiting to hear what you've got to say. And I hate to break it to you, but that's really, you know, not how it is. How do you get somebody's attention? Well, here's some of the don'ts. We all have learned, call them up and tell them how great the product is. But how well has that worked? Hello, Auntie Lulu. Oh, you got to have this. I'm going to come right over. Got to show you what this is. Greatest thing in the history of the world. You know what happens? Our product is amazing. Our company is amazing. The CEO is godlike, you know, and they have a family, and they're God-fearing, and they're this and they're that. This is all information about us, our product, our company, or the CEO. And sometimes a person will talk about themselves. These are things you're talking about us. And most other people don't really care that much about us, as I hate to say, you know, and you know what the reaction is. This is what we get, the big glazed eyes, right? Then we have something a little bit better, which is testimonials. We tell them, oh, you know, so-and-so says we're really great. Dr. Dingeling says we're really great. And of course, one of the problems is that the testimonials about doctors, for example, normally come from people who are on the company payroll. Well, that doesn't have the same credibility as somebody else. So just remember we're talking to people that are fairly intelligent who know that we use these things to try to get them to buy, which is precisely why they don't work the way they used to, you know, some years ago. And like I said, you know, it's a little bit better to have stories about how the product's working for somebody, but people have heard so many. Haven't you all? Are you not just sick of the yin yang of all the testimonials? You don't even know which ones to believe, right? So people go, oi, you know, oi, oi. So what is a better way? Number one, when you start your conversation, number one is don't talk about us or how great our thing is. Those are really the big things. And you don't really want to talk about them either. Remember in the first video, I showed you what you do instead. I'm going to show you right here how to do it. Because when you're talking about somebody else first, you go, oh, how are you? Or how are you? And you kind of feel like, I get that on Facebook all the time. People who don't know me from the Man on the Moon will call, oh, hey, Kim. Oh, how are you? And I know a sales pitch is coming. The person doesn't know me. They really don't care how I am. Why would they care? They don't know me from the Man on the Moon. And sure enough, I normally never answer those because I know what's coming. Because it's feigned interest. We've all done it, and we have all been at the other end of it. And everybody knows it's fake, so don't bother. You don't need to do that at all. And then of course they drop what they really called about. How are you? Are you fine? Oh, good. Well, let me tell you about this wonderful new thing. And right away, you've lost your credibility because you didn't really care one bean about them. You just wanted to call and hit them up. And they know that, and you know that, okay? All right, so it sounds fake, and that's really not what you want. So here's what you want to do instead. You talk about someone else. So when you call somebody up, you can talk about somebody else. Now, you tell them that you're looking for someone. If you remember, we had that here where we're looking for somebody. And what happens when when one person says, you know, I'm looking for somebody? What do you get? Who? Oh, yeah, who are you looking for? Oh, wow. Well, that sounds pretty cool because there's curiosity. It's about a third party. It's about somebody else. And maybe they know someone. And that totally can work. So you're talking about someone that you're looking for, see? Now, here's what that does to the other person. Something happens in their mind. And here's what that is. Relief. Why? Because you're not hitting on them. People really don't want to get hit on for whatever you're selling. They really don't. None of us do. Why do you think we use voicemail? Anytime there's a number we don't know, voicemail, voicemail, voicemail. Or you don't know the Facebook person, you turn off the chat or you don't answer. Why? Because we figure they're probably going to hit on us. We don't want it. Thank you very much, okay? But once you tell somebody, I'm looking for somebody else, they listen with an open mind, see, and without fear. And then you can both, they and you can focus on who it is that you're looking for. And suddenly the weight is off you and the fear is really away from her. Okay. And I just want you to be sure that you really get this, because if you're not succeeding in the business the way you want, and if you have gotten a lot of no's, I think probably you can look in the mirror and go, well, it's probably not just me, but maybe the fact of the matter is that it's not just anyone that you're looking for. It's not just anyone who's your prospect. And it really isn't. This is one of the huge mistakes that people make. They thinking that everyone with the skin is going to want the product, your particular skincare product. This is just not so. And if you don't believe me, go look at any department store. Look at Macy's. Look at all the skincare counters. Good grief, there must be 100. Every one of those companies, from Elizabeth Arden, these are regular companies, to say nothing of what, a dozen major skincare network marketing companies. You really think that your product is the only one that everyone must and should have? I mean, really, it's like you need to be educated about what your prospects have available to them, so that you don't come across as somebody who's just ignorant. It's like if you're selling toothpaste, you're going to say, well, if anyone who has teeth needs to have my toothpaste. Really? Yeah, they need this. Oh, really? Is that so? Why don't you take a look at your supermarket? There are 200 brands of toothpaste. I should have found an image. Every one of those companies has customers who swear by that particular toothpaste, whether they sell it or not. So there are different products for different people because of values. Some are certified organic, some are just plain cheap, whatever. Okay? So remember, if the people are saying no, it may very well be that it's because there's not a value match. And that's what you want to go after here. So let me show you I'm going to show you here how to do this. I just wanted to finish the other little video so that you've got it. In that 6-second video, that's the second one that I gave you, we talked about, let's give an example of calling a warm market, since that's kind of how everybody is expected to start in this industry. That's how I started. Well, I did actually call some people I know. I started right away with newspaper ads 27 years ago, so I've been in this for a long time. I just figured there are more people out there in the news reading the newspaper than I had contacts. That's the reason I did that, just leverage. Okay, so say you're calling warm market. This includes, of course, all the aunties and the uncles and the in-laws, the barista, the friends of friends. Now, here's the key thing. You are sitting there with your script or whatever, and you're all ready and you're all psyched up. You had your fourth cup of coffee and you're ready to make these calls. You can all picture this, right? We all have done this. We've all been there. So now what do you need to know about these other people before you call? Okay. So here you do. Everybody is on overload, except for people that have really got their stuff together and they have learned how to prioritize so that they're not on overload. But I would say that most people have more to handle than they can because they haven't learned how to say no. They say yes to everything, and so there they are, completely overloaded, like I do, okay? So they're on overload. So picture that about this person. Everybody is screaming for this other person's attention. So you need to be aware of this. So for example, it might be what I have here, sorry about the slides, the nanny, the car mechanic, the tutor, the gardener, whoever they've got, the kids, okay, all of this. And the person you're calling is really inside that walled garden of her mind and her life, or his life and his world, okay? They're inside that. And so they have a giant scanner to guard against people not imposing inside that wall. So they have a giant scanner. We all have big scanners. And what do we guard against? Anything that is not important to us, And everything that's not important to me or to you, each one of you, you call it noise, also known as noise. And our brains filter it all out. Be really clear about this. We all have way more to do than we can handle for whatever reasons. And so our brain's mechanism is shut out the noise, shut out the noise, shut out the noise. And what is the noise? Anything or anyone that is not urgently important right then and there. And I don't mean life or death, but if the mechanic's on the phone, they're not going to want to talk to you about some big spiel you've got because they just told her she needs a new chassis or she needs a new block or, whatever, some big expense, right? Or the kid's on the phone or the teacher's on the phone or what have you. There's some things boiling over. These are things that are happening in the other person's life, okay? So these are things that are important to them. So guess what your phone call is to them, right? It's noise. It's like, hello, more noise. Why? Because you're not important right now. Unless you're the daughter or something and you happen to have some issue, your call is noise. You need to know that before you start calling. See, that gives you a thing about what do you do then in the first 7 seconds to get somebody to at least listen so they don't turn on Facebook or their phone while you're talking to them because you know it's happening, right? I mean, I don't know about you, but if I'm on the phone, which is rarely, well, I don't have too many people that do anything else because I talk so rarely on the phone, but it's easy to imagine somebody going on Facebook. Or, they're texting and they got 3 texts going and you're one of them. Well, that doesn't feel very good. And it's because they're engaged in other things and you're not a priority for them. See? So don't take it personally. It's life. What you need to take personally is how to fix it. Okay. So here's what you do. So you have 7 seconds, I would say, 7 words, about the same, 5 to 7 words, to get the person to at least not classify you as noise. Are you with me? Right? No noise. You don't want to be noise. So let me make sure that you're on. Are you guys live? Good. All right. Looks like you're there. Okay. Good. All right. So you are noise. This is not a good feeling, but you got to get over it because now we're going to fix it. Right? The glazed eyes and ears. We don't need that. And suddenly you know very well they have to hang up. Or if you're in a mixer, oh, I have to go to the bathroom. Oh, I left my purse in the bathroom. Oh, I left something in the car. I'll see you later. And you never hear from them again. Okay, because you're noise to them right now. So here are 3 tips to help. These are things that I have done for many, many, many years. And it's one of the reasons I always sign up more customers than about anybody else in any business I've ever started and recruits, because I've learned these things about people and about me. So I'm going to give you a couple of these right here, right now. 3 tips to help. How to get their attention. Remember, we need that first. Without their attention, you're cooked. There's nothing that's going to happen. So let's say that they pick up the phone. So here's 7 words, 7 seconds. Now for today, there are probably 20 of these different iterations of what I'm going to give you right now. This is just one of the ones that almost always works if you say it with the right attitude in your voice. And if you're smiling when you say it in particular, and if you're good and you're fast, you got to practice this stuff. But here are the first words to get their attention. Say you're calling Warm Market, right? So your aunties, your uncles, people that know you, and they can also be people that are a little bit further out from your Warm Market. So for example, it might be people that you know at the bank or at the post office or places like that. At least they know your name. So here we go. No, you don't want to be noise. Duh. So you go, hello, Aunt Lulu. That's 3 words right there. If you look at your watch, that's like I'm going to time it right now. Let's see, hang on. Hello, Aunt Lulu. Okay, so that's about a second and a half. Your first 3 words. You ready for the next one? Who can guess what they are? Anybody know? Ooh. Any guesses? I'm going to look at the chat. Let's see. Okay, close. Okay, close. Ooh. Oh, you guys are hot. Okay. All right. Remember, this is one of many, but this is pretty much going to, take you'll be pretty happy if you do this. Hello, Aunt Lulu. Some of you have it. Okay. I've only got a minute. That is 5 words. I count that as 1. Only got a minute. There you are. So if you count that, it's about 2.5 seconds. Hello, Aunt Lulu. Yes. I've only got a minute. That's how you say it. I've only got a minute. And you might add, yes, if the person doesn't know your voice, hello, Aunt Lulu? Yes, this is Kim. Hey, I've only got a minute, right? So that would give you 9 words in pieces. Hello, Aunt Lulu? Yep, this is Kim. I only have a minute. And you have that intonation. I only have a minute. And what is she going to do? What do you do? If I call you and say, Steve, this is Kim Claver. Listen, I only have a minute. What do you do at that instant? Type in the chat. What's your reaction? Do you want to hang up? You give me a minute. Am I noise to you? Am I noise? Yes or no? Right? I'm not noise. So I've passed the first barrier. That's step one. If you can't get into their walled area, you're screwed. Okay? Right. We all would. I've only got a minute. And then you hang in the air, you wait. Let it just hang. It's just like a note, from Mozart. It just hangs there. And they go, yes, what? Well, you have no idea. Okay, you want the next set of words here? $5. All right, here's the next one. Would you want to hang up? I think, so far so good, we're in. See, that's step one. You're in. Step two, now we're going to call out who we're looking for. Because, of course, nobody's stupid. They're waiting. Are you going to do me or you're not going to do me? You're going to give me something good or you're going to make me mad at you, right? So now we're going to call out who you're looking for. Again, there are quite a few ways to do this, but I'm going to give you some words that I've used and that we teach that work all the time. There are others. You will probably think of others once you start getting in this mental set of how to talk to somebody so you're not noise, and then how to get them to help you find the right person. You're going to be completely in a different place in your business. So you call out who you're looking for. So here's how you do that. So Aunt Lulu, could you help me with something? All right, so this slide says, Aunt Lulu, could you help me with something? Okay. Next, could you help me with something? Yes, okay. And then the pitch, the spiel would be something like, okay, I'm looking for a customer for my new little business. I'm looking for a customer for my new business. That's the first part, so you can write that down, okay? Looking for a customer for my new business. And, okay, have you got that? So SQ, make sure people have that because you can't see it on the slide. Next time around, I'll have these fixed. This is our virgin run here, okay? So anyway, so I'm looking for a customer for my new business. Notice singular, not plural. We're not going for cattle herding here. A customer for my new business. And if I tell you who I'm looking for, which you can see right here, who knows what the end would be? Anybody? What would you guess? If I tell you who I'm looking for, what? Okay, anybody else? Yeah, you guys kind of got it together. Yeah, if I tell you who I'm looking for, would you let me know if you know anyone? Would you let me know if you know anyone? Now, what have you done? I'm looking for a customer. If I tell you who I'm looking for, would you let me know if you know anyone? Now, what you've done here, I knew you can, and then I would add, and don't worry, it's probably not you. No worries, no worries. So can I tell you? What is she going to say? Would you think I'm noise at this point? Yes or no? You guys that are not my old students, new people, would you feel like, oh my gosh, she's noise? Yes or no? Okay. Yes, no, no, right? And it's probably not going to be you. So can I ask? Can I tell you? Can I tell you? And she's going to say, probably yes. Now, if you got a really, somebody is kind of having a bad day, then, don't start the conversation. But in most cases, people say, okay, so yeah, so what, who, what have you got? Why? And when they say yes, you will hear them sighing over the phone because they've dropped their defenses. Okay, tell me who you're looking for. They don't think it's going to be them. And they don't worry that you're going to come after them either. What they're thinking is, well, what the heck, I'm going to help her. All right, so who are you looking for? And what have they done? They've stopped everything else. Everything is on pause. The burner gets turned down. The other phone gets turned down. She puts the phone down a second and says, okay, so who are you looking for? So what have you done? You've got the most precious thing in our society, which is attention. Attention. You can't get it anywhere. That's why everybody's screaming. So now that you've got attention, what are you going to do with it, right? I mean, if I asked you that, any of you guys, call you up, hey, I'm looking for somebody. If I tell you who I'm looking for, will you tell me if you know anybody? In case? Not you, but just in case. You know, it's hard. It makes the person feel like, okay, let's help you, okay? So then note, we are looking for somebody else. We're asking if she'd help us if we describe whom we seek. That's my little summary here, but I've already given it to you. Aunt Lulu is not the target. She is not on the spot, okay? So the fear is gone. What do you get? Relief. And she, you know, unless it's somebody who really doesn't like you that you probably don't want to call first, she probably would like to help you. So here's what we've said. There are countless of these. And this is where you need to know not your product in terms of what's in it or the ingredients or who made it or the name of it or any of the chemicals or Dr. Dingaling or any of that stuff that we all are taught ad nauseum in the meetings. No, none of that. What you want to figure out is what are the values around the product? Because marketing is about values. Values. It's not technical science. That's not what makes people buy. Okay, so here's what we said in the past. Okay, so it's probably something like, yes, so tell me who you're looking for. Then I might say, well, you know, if you remember, Aunt Lulu, you know, I market this product for people who are really into their skin. You know, they get facials, they go to spas, they are, you know, spend all kinds of money on their skin. You know, and I market a product for people like that, kind of a high-end spa quality skincare product. You know, for people like that and people like me, because, you know, I'm one of those crazy ones too. I really care a lot about my skin, let's say. So do you know anyone who might like to know about something like that? You see? So this is how you do that. So you market a product. Notice that the whole thing doesn't say your product name, doesn't say your company name, doesn't talk about Dr. Dingaling doing whatever he did to the product or anointing it as this is the one. So if you have a skincare product, for example, and it's maybe, I don't know, $100 a month, you're marketing, well, compared to middle-class America, it's sort of on the high end, $100 a month, $90, $100 a month. There are other people, though, who buy Pond's for $6 a month. So you're higher end than somebody who spends $6 on Pond's. On the other hand, there are people who buy La Mer, which is $4,400 a jar. And if you don't believe me, Google it. So there's a whole range of prices, just like for cars, for homes, for computers, from a few, you know, dollars to hundreds and sometimes thousands of dollars. So Aunt Lulu, so if you remember, I market this product for people who. So who are we looking at? You're not marketing a product for itself. I market a product for someone who, for people who are really into their skin, for example, high-end spa quality, do facials, go to the Golden Door, really are into their skin, like I am. Always you, because you want to, presumably you're marketing this because it's something that you personally use and you share the values. Do you know anyone who might like to know about something like that? Now, let me ask you, for those of you that are, you know, no matter what type of product you market, would you say that if she says, well, you know, Aunt Susie she loves to go to the Golden Door and she has facials at least once or twice a month. And so she refers you. And of course, you need to learn some referral language so you know how to talk to somebody, but it's the same sort of thing. And if she said to you, well, so how much is it? And you say, well, you know, let me tell you how it comes. You can get the, you know, the big package for, I don't know, $300 or $400, and then you have a few months supply, or you can get the little starter tube for, I don't know, $80. Given what you have described just before about the values of the person that you seek, and your Aunt Lulu says, I know this is that person, do you think that person is going to say, oh, well, that's way too expensive? Yes or no? That person that already spends hundreds of dollars, probably a week, on her own facial, skincare, and all of that stuff, is she going to say it's too expensive? Yeah, you see, once you hit the values, there's not an issue. The reason you get too expensive is because you got the wrong values. You're talking to somebody who is happy with her $6 jar of Pond's cream. And that's $6 a month. And you're coming around with something for $85. Yeah, it's too expensive for her, given her values. And when you understand that about marketing, then you start reaching out for the people in the first place who already share the values, who already buy products in that price range and with those values. Does that make sense? You got it together? All right. All right. So do you know anyone like that? Okay. So this part's clear. Everybody got it? You got it? Why, thank you very much. I love you. I love you back. Ms. Roxanne. So then do you know anyone who might like to know about something like that? Notice that you're asking for an opinion, for help, and most people like doing that, particularly when that's all you do. That's it. All right. So you wait for the response and go with the flow. So she might go, well, I don't really know anybody like that. And then you say, well, but if you do, would you kind of send them my way so they know that I'm one of those too? I'm one of them. We're facial crazy people. We really like spending a lot of money and stuff on our faces. Or, we're really into, say, weight loss. That's another good example. A lot of people sell weight loss. My gosh, there are thousands of weight loss products on the market. And there are hundreds of network marketing companies that do weight loss. And there are pills with weight loss. There are fastings. You can go on water fast. You can go on starvation diets. There's low carb. There's low fat. There's low this, low that. Don't eat at all. I mean, there's just a whole bunch of stuff. And so if you have a weight loss product and you were to do something like this, I market this product for people who, want to lose weight, like I did. And do you know anyone, who might like to know about something like that? You see, in that case, that won't be enough. Why would that not be enough? So if you say, well, Aunt Lulu, I market this weight loss product. I'm looking for a customer who wants to lose weight like I did and wants to do it, before summer like I did and doesn't want to be hungry. Let's say she says that. Do you know anyone who might like to know about something like that? If that's all you said, which is better than saying I got the greatest weight loss product in the history of the world, what more do you think you would need? What more would you want? So that when the person hears about your weight loss program, they don't go, oh my God, that's way too expensive. It's not specific enough, right? What else? Numbers relative to weight. Okay. Anything else? Think about all the weight loss products out there. You all know there are hundreds of weight loss products, right? Find out what they really want. Yeah. Well, let's tell them what they want. Let's be like Steve Jobs. We're going to tell them how it is, and then we're going to see, do you want it or not? Yeah, tell them how it comes. Okay, so here's how you do this. For the weight program, for example, the range of products go from, when you think about diets, somebody will say, well, I'm starting diet number 11. So there are people who go on diets over and over and over, right? So you have that. And they follow a book and eat so many calories or eat so much fat or so much this or so much that. So you have that, basically restricted eating. That's kind of the deal. And appetite suppressants. That's probably one big category of weight loss. Would you guys agree with that, just generally speaking? Yes? I want to wait here, monitor. You kind of get that, right? Okay. Okay, and then the other way of losing weight is really not to talk about a diet at all. This is what I've been doing for many years, as soon as I learned it. And it was to eat your way to the weight that you want to be, so you never have to diet again. That concept, as opposed to being on diets, taking pills, doing this, doing that, where you're constantly looking to lose because you keep putting it back on. Does everybody sense the difference in the idea of weight loss? Can you really eat your way to the health, to the weight, to the size and energy you want? Well, duh. Totally. I don't know what you market, Ms. Petco there, but this is what you want. You see, so if you are marketing a product that is an eating type of program with drinks and cleansing days and things like that, what are you doing? That's very different than you go to Walmart and get appetite suppressants for, $12. You see why you need to know a little bit more about the values. And the way you do that is don't ask them about their values. No. That takes way too long. Oh my God, you'll be dead before it's over. Forget about them. You say, here's what I've got. It's an eating program so that you learn to cleanse and you learn to eat your way into such health and energy and beauty of body and mind and spirit that you never have to diet again. So it's a whole new way of eating. Can you live with that? If the person says, no, what do you care? Who cares what their values are? They're not yours. So we take Steve Jobs' approach. Did he used to do focus groups? Are you kidding? He would always say, and I always agreed since the day, I mean, I've been following him since he began, really, so 35 years. And that's one of the reasons I live in Northern California, was to have always been near that Apple operation. And so that is what he said. No, we don't do focus groups. Why? Because we don't care what they want. We want what we want because we trust our confidence about what we want in a computer and in a phone and in technology. And we're going to go with that because we're pleasing who we are. When you get nerve like that, and you should have it, because you're choosing certain things, certain lifestyles, certain books that you read, certain products and programs that you go with. And if you're a pill popper sort of person, you will want other pill popper persons. If you're someone who's going on diet number 19 or network marketing company 19, well, that's who you're going to look for, because that's birds of a feather. And we all have a place. Don't denigrate anyone for anything. Whatever they want, the key is you lead with, this is who I am, this is what I've got, this is the kind of person I'm looking for. Do you know anyone like that? Does that make sense? Have I sold you here? And of course, it's tricky to do the language, but let me make sure that you all have it. Susie Q, people are able to respond and all that? Okay. So with your Aunt Lulu, she knows who you're looking for. She's not afraid that you're going to nag her about buying, and she can refer you like she might refer her heart doctor. Say somebody says, well, you know, I have trouble with my heart. Oh, I happen to have a heart doctor. I've had heart trouble, let's say, or I've had, I don't know, boob trouble, eye trouble, foot trouble, knee trouble, you name it. And I happen to have somebody who's really good at knees, let's say. And so you refer somebody that specializes. And you guys, if you think about what you do, if you want to hit the big time, the gangster money, think about specializing in the product line and the value set that you have. It's not network marketing. It's skincare for people who yada, 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 and who yada, yada, yada. And it's weight loss and energy and cleansing for people who yada, 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 period. Then you see you can be a consultant and an advisor and be much more than just a rep for whatever the name of the company is. You can do good. And you learn in order to do more good to those people who are using the products that you happen to be representing at that time in your life. Make sense? All right, let me carry on here. So notice, we did not mention the name of your product or your company or any of the chemicals or any of the names of anything in it or the company CEO or any of that. You notice? None of that. What did you talk about? The person you're looking for, your ideal super customer. That is your super customer. That's the program, the Super Customer Circle. I've mentioned it once or twice on my Facebook page. I'll mention it to you here because we actually have something coming up here. It's almost ready, but I'm going to show you what there is so some of your early birds can make sure you get a spot if you want. Super customer, that's what it is. Because the super customer, the value set is boom right there. That's what you want. So you stop wasting your time with all the wrong people and jamming stuff down people's throats who get so tired of it, they don't want to see you anymore. No reason to do it. There is more than enough for everybody. Really, there is. Trust me. You just have to ask. It's like shopping for shoes. If you're a size 6, why in the world are you trying on size 3 and size 10? Yes, they're shoes, but they're not your fit. So you're looking for the right size and quality of shoe. That's what you're doing. And the world out there are all the shoes in Nordstrom's. And it's, I tell you, there's more than enough. People are looking for you to say, what have you got? And you describe them to a T, their values, and they want to come over and just say, you know, shut up and take my money. That's what will happen to you. And it won't be everyone. It's going to be 1 or 2 in 100. So what? That's all Steve Jobs ever got. That's all, you know, anybody has. Toothpaste, you know, they talk about 1%. But you need 500 or 600 out of probably a couple 100,000. Wouldn't that be good if you had honor customers? So someone who's going to buy and they're not going to whine it's too expensive. And again, depends on how you set this up and what your issues are. But too expensive is a really common one, you know. And that's because people like the ones we're talking about already spend money and time on their skin, or they already have gone to, say, the Golden Door, or they've gone to the, what's that place down south in California where they do fastings and they do juicings, and people who are into that stuff where they eat their way to health, they'll be ready for your $200 or $300 a month program. Whereas people who have 9 diet books and their little cabinet opens and they have 50 different bottles of whatever, you know, the latest $10 appetite suppressant, they're not going to be your person. And don't spend any time trying to sell them, because you know, it's like changing somebody's religion. Leave them alone. Find the one who's the match. Okay. All right. So those are your super customers. All right. They share the values. I just told you all this. My slides, I guess, my brain is going faster than my slides. So it's true, like I said, the right size shoe. By the way, I'll tell you this at the end. In all of my slide presentations, I make one spelling mistake. And at the end, I didn't have a chance to say it, so we won't do it this time. I like to see who can find it, because there's always something special for that person. But I tell you at the end, because otherwise you'll be looking for the mistake. There's no typo here. That's not a typo. That's just a stylistic thing. All right, are we making sense here? We've got it together? Okay, cool. Well, then it's intermission time. And if you have questions, I will take a few questions. We can take them right there on the, if you just type them in. I can SQ, I can see them here. And if you see anything urgent, just, I'll watch for your messages here first, but I can see the Zoom webinar chat. And what I'm going to do, if you want to see a new program that we are giving a chance for a few people to get into, because I wouldn't call it beta, because I've been doing it my whole life. I've just never taught many of these things. And you never know how long you're going to be on this planet. And I've been around a long time, and I'm a lot older than most of you guys probably realize. And so I thought, you know, what I'll do is take the psychologically most effective stuff I've done since I started any marketing and sales, and show you how to scale it, particularly online and on Facebook, and automate things you never dreamed could be automated, that we're starting to do right now. And it's, when you see it, you think, I mean, you feel like this must be what it's like to be in heaven if you're a marketer. And you have to learn some core things before you get there. You cannot skip the grind. You cannot skip the grind. But if you do the grind, you know, you can kind of levitate, and it's really kind of cool. So anyway, any questions? Otherwise, I will give you the little 5-minute spiel. You want to see the program that I've got coming up here? Yes or no? I can show it to you, because we have space for a few people that we're going to start with. And by the way, the program, I really am going to limit it to people that are already my students, because you'll know a little bit about how this works. And otherwise, you have to sell me that you want to do this, because it is not what anybody has ever taught. And, you know, I've enjoyed my marketing life. I've enjoyed 27 years of doing this and teaching hundreds of companies, students, and reps, and thousands of them. And the industry really, except for having Facebook available and social media, the industry as a whole has really not changed in 27 years. And that's why there's such a parade of people going in and out, mostly out, 95%, because the nature of our industry is to bring people in by selling the dream, which of course it's fine to sell. But if you don't tell what it takes to climb, to get to at least base camp on Mount Everest, and you don't tell people that they have to bring extra boots and extra mittens and gloves and gear, how is that person going to succeed? Once in a while they do, but that's, you know, we can do better. We definitely can do better. All right, let me show you this thing here. These are slides that I just put together. They're very quick because I don't think I'm going to be doing much selling on this. We have a list of people already who are in this, but I wanted to show it to you because I know there's a couple of you that want to do this. Here's my take. The only person who will never be laid off, never get fired, never lack for whatever money she or he needs whenever they need it is the person who can get paying customers at will. And I mean by that, super customers. Does it work for Facebook messages? Yes. Oh my gosh, does it work for, I would say that for the last 2 businesses, 3, I did 3 online businesses. All of them were done 90% with Facebook messaging. And you just have to leverage. You have to learn how to do it so that people come after you. Okay, so let me show you what this is. The Super Customer Circle is the name of the program. And it's how to get high-end customers at will. And I'm going to be teaching this with my 2 sidekicks who are going to help you do the thing so that when you're, so that it happens. There are 3 of us. But it's the Super Customer Circle. And it's high-end customers. Okay, this means not somebody $8, $10. If you make a sale for $20 and you make $1, how many sales do you have to make $5,000 a month? You know, really. So it's 2 parts. This thing is going to be in 2 parts, basic and basic 10x. And 10x is exponential 10x. It's really on steroids, super duper, okay? And the basic is on the super customers. You're going to learn how to select and engage your ideal super customers. It'll be what you saw today. This is probably 1/2 of 1% of the impact that you could have if you learn how to do this. But I just want to give you some examples so you have something to think about, okay? Select them, because it's not everyone, and engage them so that you get through these filters. And there are hundreds of ways to do it because there are just, there are just a lot of ways to do it. Now, the basic 10x for super customers, here's what that's going to cover. You're going to use leverage to scale up both the hunt for people, the right ones, the automatic qualification of the people, and the sign-up process. All of it. That's what you're going to learn how to do. So the prerequisite for the basic 10x, of course, is the basic, and we've got that pretty much set up. For those of you that want to do 10x, there's going to be an exam in the basics, and you have to pass the exam before you go into 10x. There will be no flunkies in the 10x program. It's just too cool. We want nothing but people that will absolutely do anything to be in there, make it happen, and prove to themselves and the world that they really can levitate if they get the skills down. And we know you can. That's why we're only going to take a few people doing this, okay? All right, so the program is $1,497. That's what it is. And what I'm going to do is, we have been working on this for some time, and I'm going to run a 6-month paid membership and release the entire program over that time. That's what I'm going to do. And so the Super Customer Circle won't be available for the $1,497 yet because all the pieces aren't finished yet. I haven't written them all up, and I haven't got all the audios and videos ready yet. They're all in my mind, and I've done everything. It's just not all together yet. So I'm going to do it over time and not make myself or you crazy. So I'm going to offer it to 100 people between now and June 10, because the first live session is going to be June 10. So it gives me a little time, gives you a little time, with the 6-month membership program. And I'm going to release the whole thing, everything I've just described here, the few slides before, how you can do this, how you can define and engage the right people, the right customers, particularly with the FTC focus, you know, on customers. A lot of your companies are already implementing customer first programs because they don't want this to be just a big recruiting gig. As I'm sure you all know about Herbalife and Vema have been hit really hard with lawsuits from the FTC, and they're all having to change as we speak. So I'm going to release it all over this time for a certain amount per month. So we're going to go through the basic and the basic 10x. Okay, so here's I'm going to do live Zoom sessions twice a month. So 2 times a month, they're probably going to be Saturdays, in the middle of the day. I will come on live, and Vic and SQ will be there, and there will be some basic stuff that you're going to learn, new content that I've just created and have used and is working. And then I'm going to take your scripts, your presentations, whatever you've got on Facebook, your Facebook stuff, and help you customize it for what you're doing so that you can use it and leverage it and scale it yourself. So I'll be doing that live twice a month for the duration of this program, okay? So that's what's going to happen here. you know, what's working, review your stuff. And, you know, it won't be like, you know, some of you know about my first date script, which of course you need to have that first. But when you do stuff on Facebook, you need to leverage. If you do stuff on a webinar and we get your webinar 1,000 views a day, you need to know how to do that. And it's all language and slides, right? So that's why you want to be able to do this. It's quite a bit bigger than you might think, but you do one piece at a time, one piece at a time. Like to eat the elephant, right? A bite at a time. I don't even know if I'd like elephant. So this would help you earn the goal. My goal is to help who wants to earn gangster money. And that's a minimum. Gangster money where we, when we started this use of this term, was 20 grand a month. That isn't much to me, but it's 20 grand a month is a lot compared to what typical people earn. And if for you, 20 grand, like, oh my God, I could never, you know, that's just where your mind is right now. So you pick a number that's double where you are right now. Say you're making 1,000 a month, well, then pick 2. And when you get to 2, you can say, well, maybe I'll do 4. And when you get to 4, you go, well, you know, maybe I could do 8. Everyone is like that. Nobody starts at 1,000 a month thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to make 100 grand a month, except for idle chatter. Or they have one too many tequilas and they don't do jack. Who needs that? You can grow your way to gangster money. Everybody did. Al Capone didn't start out with major hits. Are you kidding? They had little dinky-roo hits. If you ever know anything about his story. So a little at a time, but the goal is to have enough so you can give it away, help other people, do things, and live yourself in a way that the stress is removed out of your life. Why do dishes if somebody else loves doing it? Why clean your house when somebody else likes doing it and loves doing it? There are people who really like to help others. You can give them all jobs and then you go help your clients. We're all helping somebody. It's just you need to get paid for it. And I'm going to show you how to do that. That's where the values come in. Okay. So the basic super customers, select and engage, right? You got to learn how to do that. The 10X, I think I showed you that. Okay. Scale up the hunt, super customer circle. So here we go. I'm going to have 2 memberships. The first one is $247 a month with no monthly commitment. And you won't get the entire program. There's not any guarantee that you'll get this whole program, the super customer circle that I just gave you, if you stop. That is, if you stop making your payments before the 6 months is over, because I'm thinking this is going to be at least 6 months. So you can do the 247 if you want to kind of looky-loo and see how far we get. But if in month 3 you have some issue or other and you quit whatever of the program there is at that time, that's what you're going to get. Okay, no problem. You know, sometimes people like to do that. The other membership is a little more conservative, and that is $197 per month. $197. Okay. Just so you know, so 197 USD with a monthly commitment. You got to stick for 6 months. So you come and you do the thing and we will help you. Like, you know, my ex used to say in the Marine Corps, when you come out of that boot camp, you're going to be somebody. He used to tell me, Kim, you love me now? Because I did. He was just the cutest thing. He was on the beach. He had this great body. And I, you know, fell in love with the whole package. And he said, and then he went to the Marines and he said, when I come back, Kim, you love me now. You're going to love me 100, tenfold when I come back from that Marine Corps thing, because they put you through the grind for 6 months, you know. And it's just, I love people like that who want to go through it and come out the other end and go, holy crap, I can't even remember the old me, you know, like that. So 6 months. So which link would you like? And I didn't, this is where I finished when it was like 1 o'clock my time, 4 o'clock your time. So I put them all here. For the $197 a month, if you're going to stick for the 6 months, this is the link. So you can, I don't think you can copy paste it, but this is as good as I could get given the time that we have. The link does work. It's kind of an ugly page, but it tells you what it is. It's the super customer circle. And the first one, when you go there, just copy it over. You can see it, right? https://go.supercustomercircle.com/enroll with 2 L's, unlike the Aussies, OZs, I guess, ENROLL. That's how we spell it in the US. And the other one is $247 for the no stick. You don't have to stick for 6 months. And that is the same, you know, you can see it there, supercustomercircle.com/6-pay. So I'm going to take this for the first 100 people. My list is about 18,500 people right now. And I have a second list I just started that's at about 4,500. And I'm going to choose from those people on that list, people who already are customers of mine, who have at least have read the Orange Book and love the Orange Book. So you've got to be one of those people. You have to have read and loved the Orange Book, which is, if my product's so great, how come I can't sell it? Because the basis of this growth is based on the principles that are there. But like I said, you know, it's the beginning. It's like Grey's Anatomy, and now we're going to do brain surgery, and I'm going to show you how to do that, okay? So the first live Zoom session is going to be June 10. That'll give everybody time to, you know, get ready and do the stuff. The basics, when somebody signs up right now, the basics are already in the members area, and we're going to add more basics because we want to lay out your exams and stuff. So you're actually we're going to hold your feet to the fire. And most people tell me, I am so glad you did. I'm so glad you held my feet to the fire. And then pretty soon you hold your own feet to the fire. When that day comes, I know I'll have done my job. When it hurts, when you don't do the work, you know you are never going to go back to where you were or where you are, ever, ever. You never go back. Okay. So you can read it, Roxanne. And then, so that's what we're going to do. And if you would like to do that, then you can do that. And then here is the end, KimKlaverAcademy.com. You like my little the end? I should have had some music. But these are the links. And if you want to give me some questions right now, we've gone about really 1 hour. And I can take a few questions, or we can call it a day. Has anyone gone to the link to test it to see if it works? I can't give you the link, but I can. It's working, Leah. Leah, where are you from? Ireland. Okay. Are you there right now, or are you in the USA, or where are you? All right. Well, we have orders coming in, so that's really wonderful. And like I said, we'll stop at 100. I do have a big giant list, but I also want to be really selective because I want to know that the class I've got is coming with me. Now, if you want to come just to be entertained, that's okay too. We always have people who just want to see what we do and just come and watch. That's okay. But if you're somebody who whines a lot and cries a lot and you're really not ready to sort of jump into the pool and turn yourself into something, this probably might not be the best thing for you to do. I really would rather have fewer people and have it be like, that's one reason I went to Harvard. I knew that the people there had busted their butt to get there. But once you get in, like we tell the other kids, everybody handles you with kid gloves. So if you can make yourself say, I want to commit, I know I can do better, and I'm willing to grind a little bit, I'm willing to get ankle biters, I'm willing to stop thinking about what other people think about me. In fact, the way we're going to get over that, I have a great technique for getting over that, worrying what other people think about you. And pretty soon, because that's the biggest block everybody has, where does self-doubt come from? Worrying about how you look to somebody else. Who gives a crap what anybody else thinks? Are they going to come to your funeral? Most of them aren't. And if it's raining, there probably might almost be nobody. I have a great friend, Jeff, who used to say that all the time. Why are you listening to them? Are they going to come to your funeral? And are they where you want to be? If anybody who's telling you, do this, do that, is not where you want to be, don't listen. I'll tell you a little story about Think and Grow Rich. Who wrote that again? SQ. That was Napoleon Hill. And he said, people told him all the time, yes, Napoleon Hill, thank you, yes. So when Andrew Carnegie hired him to go and talk to everybody who had made it for his book, Think and Grow Rich, a lot of people that he talked to that were not the ones who were big successes, but the crybabies, would say to him, well, the reason Carnegie made so much money is that he was lucky. And you know what Napoleon Hill's question always was to all those people? He told this in his big fat book, this big success book. And he said, oh, okay, so how do you know? And it's like, oh, how do you know? And that was it, because they didn't know. It was just idle chatter. Oh, well, she's lucky. Well, there's some luck in everything. But if you don't ever get off and say, I want this, I'm going to learn how to do this, and I'm going to lift weights every single day for 3 years until I can lift 200 pounds like so-and-so, it never is going to happen. But if you're on the way to doing that and you've made the commitment in your mind and you're doing the thing every day until it hurts when you don't do it, it may very well be that one day at that gym, Arnold walks in and goes, man, you look hot. Why don't you come and be on my TV show? Would that have been lucky? Well, yeah. But were you there? Yes. Right? So be there. And you never know who might be out there floating around that happens to see you and give you that lift that other people have had because they were there. Okay. All right, good. Well, I'm happy to see that we have so much interest in this program, because this is good. This means I won't have to do too many of these. I really do want people who understand and love the idea of making themselves into somebody that's attractive to the kind of person that you want as your customer and that you want to help. That's really the deal. And hey, Rick. Yes, I have signed up. Pamela, oh, I'm so happy that you did. I think that you're just the ideal person because you're such a people lover. But what you need to do is, for all of you, I'll tell you, SQ, you're one too. All you guys, you people lovers, let me give you something about being a people lover. You have to know when to give and ask for something in return, so that you're not all the time giving and getting nothing back. I cannot tell you how many life coaches make no money. Why? Because they say, well, I don't know how to ask for the money. Well, I got a great solution for that. The most wonderful thing in the world. You tell them before you offer your services what the cost is. Just like we did here. $197 a month. It's, for some people, it's like, holy moly, that's a lot of money, Kimmy. Because of course, they're making $2,000 a month. They have 3 people living in their house, mooching off them, right? And there's nobody doing anything. So of course it looks like a lot, because you can't see how you're going to use the knowledge to turn that knowledge into active making money with people who want to give you money. And that's one of the big things we're going to convert you guys who are just givers of everything to people who don't give it until the person says, I'm ready to pay. That is what's going to happen. You're another one, Susan Anderson. We know you. You're the same, honey. Giving everything away. But the way you change is you go, I got this. Here's what I've got. Here's what it's going to do for you. And here's what I want you to do next. Okay? So what? What do you do next? Well, here's what it's going to cost. You want a 3-week program or a 6-month program or a 12-month program? And here are the prices. Pick the one you want, sign up, and I'm there to help you. That's what you do. Okay, does this include, no, not LinkedIn, but it will, Facebook? Oh, honey, yes. And if you're really hot on LinkedIn, what I could do is, I think I have I have contacts, but I have to have somebody that I can trust who understands our business, maybe come in and give a guest session on how to work LinkedIn. In fact, I have a friend who's a wonderful Facebook person. And so what I could do is I'll reach out to a couple of them and ask them if they come and give a guest session for those of you on LinkedIn, provided that you have a LinkedIn account and you're using LinkedIn. Don't reach out to LinkedIn if you can barely get your Facebook page up. Do not do this. Okay? Choose one method. Facebook and email goes wonderful together. LinkedIn and email goes wonderfully together. And of course, doing webinars. My God, if you learn how to do slides like this, say you don't want to get in front of your screen because you're nervous because you look old or fat or ugly, or, we've all got hang-ups, trust me. But for what we do, Facebook is the best place to go. And what you can do is, when you learn how to market on Facebook, because it really means calling out the right people and getting them off Facebook right away onto your email list. That's what it means. And then you're going to love on them in your email list and then market stuff to them. And then you're going to get webinars and show, get new people constantly coming in. Like I do, have probably 100 leads a day now coming in that are qualified people. And I'm learning how to scale that up. And so we'll show you how to do that for pennies so that you learn how to do it and not outspend your learning. Okay. So Facebook and email, those are the ones and all this stuff, because what are you doing? You're reaching out. You're saying, hey, I'm looking for this sort of person. Here's what I've got. Is this you or not? That's all. And you need to learn how to do that for whatever you market, including your business. I'm looking for somebody who really wants to have something of their own, but they don't want to say, you could say, they don't want to create their own product. Or somebody who doesn't want to create their own product and they don't want to have to ship it either. And somebody who doesn't really want to deal with, the finances, let's say. I'm just making stuff up. But that would fit a typical network marketing business because you don't have to come up with your own product if you're doing that, if you're promoting that, and you don't have to ship, right? So you're not doing any of that stuff. You're just finding customers. So if you wanted to do, we will cover both customers and some recruiting because I love recruiting. I mean, who doesn't love recruiting in this business? And with the Herbalife, with the FTC, the big deal with that is they have set up the limitations. For Herbalife's reps cannot get paid unless not more than 1/3 of their money can come from orders in the downline from reps. 2/3 has to come from customers that are not reps. Well, I'm going to show you how to do that. Of course I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to rule. And there will be few of us. Remember, Jesus only had 12. And now look, and he had a frontline pukey. Expect it. It's okay. We're human. But if we stick together, we will move through the crap and through the brambles and turn ourselves into something that is much better than before. Yeah. Oh my gosh, ClickFunnels. For those of you, I'm not going to push anybody to any of these programs. I'm an affiliate for several things that I happen to like where I can help you with it. But you will never hear me go, oh, you need to get this and here's the link, blah, 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 blah. Because if you're not really technically inclined, then what you want to do to begin is start everything small until you make some money. Then you can spend some money that you've earned, unless you have a little stash, So one step at a time. First of all, you grow so you can carry a 10-pound bag. And then when you can, then you can grow some more and carry a 20-pound bag. Okay. Purchasing warm leads. What are you talking about, Pamela? What does that mean? What do you mean? Targeted. Oh, okay. Yes. Targeted for, right. Well, they wouldn't be warm. They're not people that you know or that know you, but you're a guaranteed buyers type program. Well, I don't have one, but if you have one and you have tested it, certainly people can try it and test it. As far as I know, there is no guaranteed buyer program, the way I understand you to say it, because you can't tell if a person's going to buy from you or not. They may buy, say whatever, but buy it from somebody else. But if you mean by guaranteed buyers, a list of people that have bought, say, certain kinds of products at certain levels, those are probably much better lists. Yes. And scripts to talk to them? Are you kidding? Totally. The key with talking to people, if they say, yeah, I'm interested in health, right? Well, you have to step back. Well, you're interested in health. That's great. How long have you been interested in health? Well, since I was 12 years old. Okay, great. Or they might be 60 or 70, since about 3 weeks ago, because I got diagnosed. So those are very different protocols that you would use to help somebody, wouldn't you say? Somebody who says, I've been into my health since I was 12 or 13 years old, and they're 70 years old, and somebody else is 70 years old, and they say, well, I've been really interested in health since about, 3 months ago, because I got diagnosed with, hoo-ha. So you see, your scripts are not things that you use to throw at them. No. When a person reaches out and says, yeah, I'm interested in some extra income, and I say, great, how much do you want to make? Oh, 10 grand a month. Wonderful. So what's the most you've ever made? 150 a month. Great. So have you ever done any sales before or network marketing? Or have you ever owned your own business before? No. So are you ready for it to take a little while to learn how to do it? You know, do you have like some little money to put into it? Because, you know, businesses take little money. It's not like McDonald's where you have to put in $1 million. We used to put all the franchises in locations here in California. You know, I know all the boys who own those franchises. So it's like, oh, I see. So you mean you have to spend money? So yeah, you know, because you have to like buy product and you got to learn some stuff, and you know, like you go to business school sort of. Oh, I don't have any money. So, well, you know, honey, that's all right. How would you know, right? Maybe someday it'll be different. And you let go. So I try to find all this out so that I leave the person feeling happy when they left the call, no matter who they are. But that tells me something about that lead source, that they did not qualify the people very well. Would you guys agree? Yes, I'm ready to start a business, and yes, I'm ready to invest $100. Now, really? No, it will not be. The business calls, you should get them done. One of the reasons I'm starting this on June 10 is so that all my business challenge people that are graduates of the Cadaver Challenge, if any of you were just a Cadaver Challenge graduate, either this past week or any of the ones we've done over the past couple of years, you can sign up for the business challenge, which is contacting local businesses in such a way that you can do demos over there for their clients. Yeah, you need the more you know before you come in here, the better it is. Yep. So Audrey, if you can swing it, I would definitely recommend that you do, if you want this outcome, you know, and given who you are and how determined you are, I think you probably can handle it. The business challenge. Yes. You're in the Cadaver Challenge over there, and you've done a couple of them, I think, or one or two, or certainly you know about it. And the next phase for people that are calling the cadavers, which are all local people that they call to practice. In fact, we're announcing prizes this afternoon. And I think there were people who made 200 and 300 dials a day who've been in network marketing for 5 or 10 years, who never called more than 3 people, period, because they were so chicken. So now everybody's huffing and puffing and ready. Well, what do we do now? Well, there's the business challenge. And so, Suzanne, if you go to the Cadaver Facebook page, that closed page there, you will see a notice about the business challenge. It's going to run from May 20, I think, to May 27. So go there, and then you can just do that. Well, thank you from Rita DeVette, and I'm delighted that you're coming. And you know, I'm glad that you think I'm the best, because that means you're going to learn really well, and that means I'm going to love you extra, because how could a teacher not love a student who says, well, you're the best? That's what we look for in school. We teach. If you've ever taught, any of you, I'm sure you've taught kindergarten, 3rd grade, 10th grade. Don't you love the students the most who love what you're doing? It's like, oh, man. All right, I got a race. So I'm hopeful that we recorded this, but if not, I will probably do another one of these. Very likely next week, Saturday. If you guys would like that, I can schedule another one, and this time the slides will be perfect. And if you have people in your group that you want to bring, if they have the Orange Book and they've read it and they love it, we can consider them for the class, for the Super Customer Circle. And this is a private group, so don't spread it around, okay? It's just for us. All right, are we good? Okay.